Hey YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin. If you're new here, if you're not, thank you so much for stopping back by. Today we are going to get into my August budget review. So I'm going to show you guys what I did with my money versus what I thought I was going to do with my money in August. So with that, we'll dive into my spreadsheet, and let me just say it did not go as planned, but I am not upset. So let's zoom in a little bit here. And then you can see in housing and utilities, where we always start, I did okay with my mortgage. And then electric came in under. I always budget a little over for electric just to be safe. And then all of my other typical bills, water, internet, trash, and phone, all ended up being exactly what I expected them to be. So yay, I paid all my bills. And then for propane, I had budgeted just what was left over from July, which was our escrow refund, and then my normal like $50 or $60 towards propane that I always save. And so we ended up buying a fill for our current tank, and then we pre-bought another fill. And so this big number here is the full amount for the first fill, which was about $513. And then the rest of it was my half of our pre-buy contract, which ended up being $808. So I did pull from savings in order to cover that, because I have been saving in a sinking fund for propane and house maintenance for a long time, and I ended up pulling money from those funds to make sure that I could cover it. So that's how that went. And then next up, we're talking about auto, and it looks red because I thought my insurance bill would be about $96, and I was just a little off with that. And then for fuel, I was a little off because we did take a small trip to Georgia and I did pay for some gas. So that ended up eating into that a little bit, but not too bad. Only went over by, $15, $16. So not too bad. Next up, we have debt. As I mentioned, I did roll over some funding from July, and part of that was also another debt payment. So I did make my normal debt payment of $443.83 for my auto loan, and then I put a lot extra in there, and I will go into detail about that on my debt payoff update. And then I didn't put anything towards student loans as usual. For food, I budgeted $150 for groceries and went quite a bit over. And let me just say, it kind of irritates me because I do grocery pickup to avoid impulse purchases at the grocery store. I'm really bad about it. I always want to get like the snacks and the just delicious food that I see. And so I always do pickup to avoid it and just get what I need. And they claimed to not have like half the things that I know they're gonna have. So I went into the store to just check, because I was like being petty, and they did have like most of the stuff they claimed they didn't have. And I ended up buying extra stuff because of my inability to control impulse purchases. So with that, I did go over, and then later in the month, I just ended up needing to go to the grocery another time. So I went over in groceries, and then I came in under for fast food and eating out together, which helped mitigate that overage in groceries quite a bit. So moving right along to my savings section here, I did put my money into my IRA, and then I did put $100 towards my house projects fund. And then I did not put anything towards auto maintenance or a new phone. And then for vacation, I budgeted $50 because I knew I was going on a small trip. And I put a $0 here and then added it into the gifts fund because on vacation we went to a Bass Pro Shop, and it was my first time, so super cool store. If you haven't been, definitely find an excuse to go. They have outdoor stuff more than just fishing, so there's definitely something for everyone. Lots of clothes. And I ended up getting some stuff for my dad while I was there, and so I put it under the gifts fund because it was a gift, but it really came out of that vacation amount. And then with household maintenance fund, I did put $50 in there and $50 in my emergency fund. So not too bad on the savings front, but not as good as a normal month would have been without like a vacation or anything. Entertainment, all of my subscriptions came out as per usual at their normal rates. So again, I have Spotify, Amazon Prime, CBS All Access, Hulu, and a podcast. So yeah, all that was good. And then in the miscellaneous section, that's where I put stuff for our dog. And so I got him some treats, and I ended up getting him a small like $3 toy as well. So I went over there a little bit. Household maintenance, I stocked up on some stuff and came in under, which was nice. And then for personal spending and miscellaneous, that's where it all went haywire. As always, I think that's pretty normal. But in my August budget with me video, I did mention how I really wanted to think about money a little bit less and maybe just have a hobby that's not just money related. And so I have been like obsessed with these clay earrings that people make, and I think they're so cool. And I was like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be fun to make those for my family and friends for Christmas? And you know, maybe if I'm like good at it, maybe I could like donate them to like, you know, some festival or something for people to just give them away. And so that's kind of where I'm at with that. But I did end up buying a lot of clay like supplies, and that ended up being like I spent at least $100 just on clay supplies. And then I also did get oh yeah, I paid for a 5K run. So yeah, lots of stuff. And I also bought some food for my mom when she was needing some like soft food and didn't want to get to the store because she's been doing dental work. So anyway, that is how it went with my spending. So looking at income, I did get my $1,400 for my 2 checks. And then as I mentioned, I did pull some money from savings to pay for propane. So that was what this $328.58 belongs to. And then I did get $2.27 from Google Opinion Rewards, which is super good because I definitely would not have balanced a budget if I didn't have that. And then the rollover from July was this $1,092, which again, that was for propane and to put towards debt from my July budget. So I did allot that money the right way. And then as you can see, in verse out, I ended up with a balance of 74 cents. So I am just going to leave that in my checking account because I like to have a small buffer and it would be silly to transfer that. But anyway, that just about covers it for what I spent my money on in August. I know I went over in so many spots, but really the one that was like unavoidable was groceries and then personal spending. I could have tried to keep my like new hobby spending and spread that out over a few months, but I just wanted to get all the stuff so I could actually work on it, and it was worth it. I've had so much fun working on like messing with clay and stuff, so definitely worth it. But yeah, so let me show you guys my donut charts really quick. I like to show you what my budgeted donut would have been versus what it actually looked like. And so you can see down here, I'll zoom out just a bit so you can see it better. There we go. You can see that in my budgeted breakdown that I was going to spend a little less on housing and utilities and a little more on debt. And so it kind of ended up a little flip-flopped there. And then in miscellaneous, you can see I budgeted like 2% less for miscellaneous than I actually spent. So that's kind of where the differences really were. And I'm okay with that. For the most part, it looks pretty similar this month, which does not always happen. So I'm happy with my spending in August. I think between having a small vacation, picking up a hobby, and still making debt payments, I think I did pretty darn good financially in August. And I will just do great in September too. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. If you could also just comment or like them or even subscribe to my channel, that would be super great. And with that, I'll let you go. So have a wonderful morning, noon, or night, whatever it is for you.